That's
Wow.
not a way to start.
Oh, wow.
That wasn't a way to start it. I'm sorry.
Well, it is now.
Oh well.
That's what happens when you drink coffee 24/7.
Okay, first of all, this is only my second cup of coffee today. And it says do not disturb, so you're very much disturbing.
I'm shocked that's on your second cup of coffee. Usually she on her third or fourth by now.
That is not, I don't even drink that much coffee in a day. You're over here capping.
I don't know.
I do not drink that much coffee. I literally drink 2 cups. I try to stay to a minimum of 2 cups. But if the coffee ain't hitting like it's supposed to, that's when I'll go to like 3. Never 4. Because my doctor told me I drink too much coffee. So I stopped drinking coffee as much as I used to.
You know, it'd be like 10 o'clock. At night.
Okay,
You'd be like,
first of all,
let me get some coffee.
nobody gave a definitive time frame of when you can drink coffee. So for you to be like, it's 10 o'clock, maybe I want to stay up late. Maybe I need a pick-me-up. Maybe I'm tired from working all day and I just want some coffee.
You know, if it's
How
10
about
o'clock.
don't judge me?
I'm not judging you. I'm just saying maybe.
I feel a lot of judgment going on.
Maybe if it's 10 o'clock p.m. and you're tired, maybe it's time to relax instead of let me get some coffee.
Or maybe it's a Friday night and I want to stay up because I've been going to sleep early all week for work and I just want to stay up. So I get some coffee.
That's still wild. Coffee at 10 p.m. is insane.
This man is so irky.
Am I irky? Because I'll be like watching a TV show or something. I hear the coffee maker go on.
Don't nobody say nothing to
10
you
p.m.
when you do something that's a weird quirk.
Like what?
I don't know. I can't think of one right now. But I'm sure you have weird quirks.
Anyway,
Whatever.
why are we here today?
Well, first of all, welcome back to the
Yes.
Spiritual Love Podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed the last video. We just posted it actually today and went live at 12 o'clock. We haven't even checked anything or whatever, but I feel like we don't really even care about stuff like that because I feel like when I was doing YouTube before, I was so like hyper focused on who was looking at it and stuff like that. But I feel like this time around with doing stuff with you and like even our travel channel, like I don't care. I'm just posting it. You either look or you don't.
Well, we hope people look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously the hope is always to have people to look at it because we take a lot of time and effort to put into these videos. So yes, please look. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm not hyper focused
Right.
like I was before. Excuse me, I just burped because of my
That's
coffee.
Anyway, but yeah, today is when the first episode went up, but this would be going up in a week probably. This episode will go up in a week, so when they watch this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be next week.
Anyway.
Yeah, if you don't know what time frame it is, it's Christmas, so happy holidays. Well, it's not Christmas today, but it's in a couple of days, so happy holidays to everybody. And we hope that you enjoy the holidays with your family. We'll be, you know, spending the holidays together and with his parents. So, you know, I didn't forgot what the topic was.
Miracles about like how.
Oh yeah. So we wanted to ask you guys, and seriously, cut all of this, that whole part, you know. So why are we here today? We're here to talk about basically, has there ever been a situation that you've been in where God has came to you, whether it was in a dream, a prayer, maybe something God just laid on your heart over time, and you receive like some type of vision for your future, you know, something that God wants you to do, but the vision is so big and so like in that moment it feels unreachable that you're kind of just like, what am I going to do to get to this place that God is saying that he sees for me? Kind of like the story with Joseph and how God came to Joseph and was like, I have a vision for you. You're going to be ruler over all your. He said all of your brothers and all your family, and you're gonna be ruler over Egypt. And he kind of went around. Now wait a minute. He kind of went around and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna." Yeah, kind of just boasting about it and stuff. So yeah, but he gave him that vision, and then ultimately, he didn't know what road he was going to take in order to get there. You know, like he was completely oblivious to what road God was going to take him on. And I wonder if there are like things that people have gone through, like you guys, are there things that you have gone through, you know, in your past, maybe currently you may be going through, where God gave you this vision and you just don't even know where to start, you know? Have you ever had experienced anything like that?
Yeah. Like, oh, excuse me. Like for this podcast, for example.
All right.
You know, I had a dream/vision about it, and I was like, I'm not, you know, very present on social media. I'm very low key and stuff like that. So for me to go up here and just like, you know, want to do something like that, I'm like, I don't know how to. I don't know what first thing about side. Like I barely use Instagram. So how am I supposed to like get a microphone, start talking into it, and start a podcast? You know what I mean? Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it's like God didn't lay this vision on you until we were together. Yeah. And I was already heavily into like doing social media and stuff. I won't say heavily, but I was into doing social media.
5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, okay, right? That's irrelevant. That's a lot of people. He thought I had, when we first met, he thought I had 500,000. I was like,
it was like, no. Yeah, it was like 500,000, like 5 million or something.
Yeah, I was like, no.
I was like, I'm talking to a celebrity for now.
Not even. Anyway, but God didn't lay that vision on you until we were together, and that was like a year ago or something like that, wasn't it?
When the vision, or when you were talking to me about how you had 500 subscribers?
No, I'm talking about the vision for the podcast.
Yeah, so that was like a year ago.
Yeah, it was like a year ago, which was crazy, but it was like God didn't give him that vision until we met, and I feel like that was one of the pieces to the puzzle, maybe. But ultimately, I feel like God gives you a million different pieces. Like that's what I heard in my from my pastor in the sermon he was speaking about like about a week ago or so, and he was just talking about how God will give you everything in a million different pieces, and it's up to us to ultimately put it all together. And then that's how we get to the vision that God has laid on our heart. Right. But it's so hard to even, because you don't even know where to start.
Right.
You don't know what pieces to pick up, you know? So it's like, ultimately, in that moment, where do you think you should start? You know, what do you think is the first thing you should do? Or what's something that you did when God laid on your heart you should start this podcast and everything like that? What was the first thing that you were like, oh, maybe I should start doing this and maybe that will get me there?
Well, I told you about it because you're already were into YouTube and like used to like vlogging and stuff, making videos and stuff. And I think part of, like, some people might be confused if I'm supposed to do this. Why didn't he give me a step-by-step instruction on how to get there?
Right.
I think it's because most people aren't gonna like what it takes to actually get there. Because it's like God's not gonna just like hand you stuff and just like, oh, here, you know what I mean? It's like he wants you to actually work for it too. It's kind of like with Joseph, like he gave him the end vision, was him ruling over his brothers and living this lifestyle that he's not used to. And what if he had told Joseph, but in the meantime, your brother's going to betray you, try to kill you, be sold off as a slave, get bought, and you're going to be in prison, get falsely accused of rape, get thrown in prison for years. And then you'll be king, or a second hand to the most powerful nation on the planet.
Yeah, but he let him do everything. So.
Yeah, but like, and then, like, if Joseph heard, you'll be second hand to the most powerful king in the world at the time, but you got to go through X, Y, Z to get there.
Right.
Do you think he would have been like, well, yeah, I'll go get falsely accused of rape, get thrown in prison, my brother's trying to kill me. You know what I mean? Like, because I think that's part of the reason. It's like why you're not going to get a step-by-step instruction. It has kind of like, what's that word? It's like I was about to say promiscuous. It's like a not clear on the path to get there.
Right.
And it's like that on purpose because you're probably not. Because if God was to be like, but to get there you got to do all this, you're probably like, that sounds nice, but let me not do that.
To piggyback on the part where you were saying like there are going to be things that God is going to require you to do that may not even like be a part of your. That's not exactly what you said, but basically it may not be a part of who you are right now. Yeah. There's a lot of change that's going to have to happen throughout that entire process in order for you to even get where you are, because God's going to give you a vision of, like you said, of ultimately the final destination, but there may be 10,000 more steps that you have to do in order to even get there. So the person that you are when you start the journey may not necessarily be the person that you're going to be when you are at the end of that journey, you know? So it's like, I feel like there's a lot of change that has to happen throughout that process, because even though God gave you that vision, if he gave you, like you just said, like if he just gave it to you in that moment, you probably wouldn't know what to do with it. Right. You wouldn't know how to handle it. You wouldn't know how to function. It would probably be overwhelming.
Right, you know,
because you're not ready.
Yeah, as part of the journey is probably preparation too. Like this is the end goal, but you're not ready for that yet.
Right.
So you gotta go through this maturing process.
Right.
You know, all of that stuff.
Right.
And you gotta build yourself up, make yourself stronger, make yourself more focused, and things like that. So that when you do get there, you're not gonna squander it. You're not gonna, you know, look crazy. You're looking, you don't know what you're doing, and then you're gonna ruin the whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that's the story of Joseph. Probably one of my favorites in the Bible, actually.
Yeah, for sure, because it was a lot of like, not only did your brothers betray you, then you got sold into slavery. You were placed in jail for like, I think 2 years or so.
I think he was in there longer. I don't remember how long, or if it described how long. But
he was in there for a minute.
So he got sold off into slavery. A rich guy, it's like Potiphar, I believe, bought him. And he really liked him. And then Potiphar's wife tried to go on to him.
Yes, that's what happened.
And then she falsely accused him of trying to give her. Yeah, because he said that would be sinful. Yeah. And then his wife, Potiphar's wife, was like, all right, fine. She called the guards and pretended that he tried to rape her or to try to force himself onto her. Yeah. Even though she was married, and Potiphar like freaked out about it. Obviously, he believed his wife over him. Obviously, he got thrown in prison. And yeah, he was in there for a long time.
But it was like, ultimately, Joseph went through all of that. But when that famine came, he was able to help his family get through it. You know, not only his family, but even his, like, people who were closest to him or whatever. He was able to help them get through it because ultimately God put him in that position where he was in a position of power, you know, in that time. And, I mean, it was a crazy road, but, I mean, it ultimately looked out for him and his family. So.
And then not only that, like, his brothers did so bad by Joseph, they thought he was dead, and then they go and see him, how powerful he is now, and Joseph still forgave them and gave them food and all that stuff. Yeah. I don't even think they recognized him when they saw him at first. Yeah. They didn't know that was their brother.
But I would say, like, if you're on a journey and something that God has put on your heart for you to do, for instance, like for us, it was this podcast, because first God gave him the vision, and then God came later and gave me the vision, like months after, when we were in preparation of like starting the podcast, and then a bunch of stuff happened, and then we stopped like thinking about it. Then we went to, we came here to New Jersey, and then it was like so many things just happened. It was like so many obstacles. And not bad obstacles. It was more so just good things happening in life. But I think the ultimate test was kind of what I said last week in last week's episode. It was like, God was like, I gave you the vision. Now, just because you're getting all this other stuff that's happening, are you still going to execute it? Because this is something that I intended for you to do. Or are you just gonna be like, I'm content with my life, I'm cool with everything that's going on, you know? Because I feel like a lot of people get tripped up with that too, where they'll have a vision from God, they'll act on it, and then maybe something good has happened, maybe something bad is happening, and they allow it to affect their reality so much that either they just say, excuse me, I keep burping, they'll just say, you know, forget it, I don't want to do it anymore, or you know, I'm content with where I am right now because I have everything I need, so there's no need for me to do that anymore. And it's just like, maybe sometimes God is putting that to a test to say, okay, yes, maybe you may have everything that you want right now, but I still asked you to do this.
Right.
So this is, because I feel like it's our job to find some type of way, shape, or form, whether that is being in church and, you know, being on the dream team, you know, like how at Union you could do parking, you're doing something to serve God's kingdom. I feel like we all have a job as Christians to do something to serve God's kingdom. And if it's not something that you're doing at the church or something that you're doing on your own, like, it should be something in what God is telling you to do, which for us it was this podcast.
Because not all the time is going to be something at church. It could be something like this.
Yeah.
It could be like, you know, a random encounter with somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different ways to do that. And yeah, and I think going back to like getting distracted and stuff, like we had a lot of stuff going on in our lives, like moving up here to New Jersey, trying to find an apartment, trying to find, well, it was also me trying to find a job because you already had one secured. That's why you moved here. And, you know, all that stuff going on. You know, and it's like, it's hard to stay focused when you have a million things going on around you.
Yeah, for sure.
And at that point, going back to miracles and stuff, is like, if God wants you to do something, it might seem impossible, but to me, it's almost like it's a miracle for you to even, it might seem from your standpoint like a miracle for you to get there. You know, because for me, it's like, me doing a podcast, like, I'm very introverted. I don't do well with social media. I'm just not good at it. So for me to,
I wouldn't say that because you did really good with editing and stuff.
No. I mean like with the social media presence. Like I don't post on Instagram.
Yeah, but I don't really have a social media presence either.
Yours is a lot bigger than mine. Like, but yeah, it's like for me, it's like, you know, I don't do that stuff. Like, how am I gonna do that?
I mean, you won't ever get good at anything until you try.
No, yeah.
But I do get what you're saying. So, like, when God gave you the vision, it was kind of like, whoop, that's not even really what I be doing. So,
I am horrible. I'll burn water trying to boil it. So it's like, if God was like, you know what, I want you to be a chef, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
I burn water. You know what I mean? So it's like, it might seem impossible, but if God wants you to do it, He'll make miracles happen. He'll make it happen. Absolutely. You just got to put the work and have the faith and believe that it's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, and Jesus said, if you pray and believe that you've received it, you've already received it.
Right.
So if you believe it'll happen, like God said it would, you know He can't lie. If He said it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Then you'll get there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. That's what, yeah. So here we are, episode 2 of the podcast, because God put it on my heart, and then hers too. Yeah. To do it, because I don't think I could do this without you, because I don't know any of this stuff. Like
I think you could have done it.
She came already when I met her with these lights, camera.
He's talking about the ring lights, so you can see it in
the ring lights. She came with like all this experience with YouTube and stuff.
Minor experience. Because we had a lot to learn with like the mic and, you know, the sound and stuff. But we're here. So, you know, all of that to say, like, if you have a dream or God put a vision on your heart, just realize that it's not going to come overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. So you just got to do everything in your power and realize that you're going to change throughout these seasons, because we're not where we were when we first met each other. You know, we're in two different places now. I think for the better. So ultimately, it's going to be a journey. It's going to be a road that you're going to have to go down to get where God is calling you to go. But if God is calling you to go there, then he knows that the journey, it ain't going to be easy, but you're going to get there.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have given you that mission or that destination if he didn't think you could fulfill it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I think you should just push to do it. I don't know if this speaks to anybody, but just push to do it, to go and do what God is calling you to do, whatever he has laid on your heart. And hey, accept the journey, accept all of the hardships, the mistakes that's gonna happen, everything. Like,
yeah, it's how you learn.
Embrace it.
You're not gonna learn unless you fail a couple times.
Yeah.
You ride a bike, you're gonna fall and bust your knee up.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, like another thing is like God's not gonna give you a task or a destination that he knows you can't do. That he knows you don't have the strength to do it, or the strength to do it with his help.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not gonna give you something that's completely like out of reason, because he wouldn't give you something to do that you can't do or you can't do with his help.
Yeah.
Then why, there'd be no point in that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But we hope you guys enjoyed episode 2. It was a little shorter, but it is what it is. It'll get better over time and everything.
Yeah.
It'll be. Plus, we have to record another one after this anyway. So, we're really on a time crunch because the Ravens about to play. So he needs to get to the Ravens to watching the Ravens game.
The Steelers, so.
Yeah, our
Steelers
rivals. So it's
Steelers
gonna be a good game. So yeah.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
We'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you guys next week for the next video.
Yep.